What is up, everyone? I just wanted to jump in here and talk about Stop Bypassing the Integration Period, live series that I have been called to do. And this one I want to talk about, what are we talking about? Oh, bringing back the old pieces of you and bringing them with you. So often we move into our next levels, we move into our next spaces of evolution, and we grow, we change, we shift, we evolve. And from my own personal experience, I have thought that I needed to just let go of the old me and the old versions of me. I have a great life story. I have a great past of different versions of me, and not that I'm ashamed of them or not, but at one point I was, and I was doing things that weren't in integrity, but they also taught me, those versions of me taught me what I'm capable of, and two, who I can be, and three, they showed parts of myself that really that honestly, I needed to remember to bring with me. And as I've moved into this healing journey and become more aware and embodied with who I am now, I have realized that those parts of me that I once was like, I don't need to be that person, I shouldn't be that person, or even just totally neglected and put to the side and acted as if I never was that person, I was essentially saying I was better than me. Like I mean me right now, or that one that realized that I was too good for that other person, when in actuality I needed to be that person so that I could get to being the place and the person that I am now and today. So case in point, this, I mean, if you haven't listened to my podcast, that's on my Instagram, LinkedIn, Linktree, you can just listen to that so I can, so I don't have to say all of everything on this moment. But I think I even said it the other day, I've touched a lot of money. I've had a lot of money come through my hands. I've had abundance of money to zero money. And in that process of that, the true hustler within me has always been there. I have always been one to have either not 5 jobs, but a bunch of jobs, constantly working to bring in income, to make sure that I would have to want for nothing. Because when I was growing up, I always heard, we can't afford this, we can't do this, we can't do that. So anytime I was told no, I was like, okay, well then I have to figure out I have to figure out the way to make sure that I can get what it is that I want. So in that, I became very independent, and that could be almost not envisioned, but or embodied as a little bit cold, or just very about her money. And for a time frame, I mean, first of all, my Instagram was Moni over bitches, money, but Moni over bitches. When I was right out of high school going into college, I called myself the baddest bitch, and I was driving around an 88 Honda, and literally you could tell me nothing. And as I've moved through and become this person that I am now, I was like, I don't need her. I don't I was never her. When in actuality, Simone, remember who the fuck you are. Remember who the fuck you used to be. Remember how empowered you were when no one could tell you anything. And even if they did, you would be like, well, fuck you, watch me. And I really had to remind myself of, I might not be that same version of myself. I might not be that me anymore, and grateful and happy that I'm not, because of, that was a totally different era. That was a totally different life. That was a totally different timeline that I was living, and it was not in alignment with what I know that I'm able and should be doing, which is what I'm doing now. And so with that, I've really given myself this opportunity to look back and be like, I need to pick that part of me up. That part of me needs to come along for the ride. That part of me that's empowered, that part of me that has the spirit of a hustler, that part of me that is not money minded, but abundance motivated. Like, there's nothing wrong with saying and knowing that money makes this world easier to live in and operate in. And we can pull that shit if we need to, though. Exactly. Because if we don't remind ourselves that it's here, and we don't remind ourselves of who we used to be, we act as though we actually disempower ourselves. We actually find ourselves in a space of like almost to the victim, like in the victim energy, but in a totally different way. Like, you're actually being a victim to yourself and to your old you, and you can't do what it is that you want to be doing because the old you, or you can't do that thing because that's what the old you used to do. But you need to do what you need to do here and now. And this part of you is exciting, is to know that you can integrate the old yous and not have to like disregard them and like throw them away and put them in the trash as if they're like they were never there. You are still here. You are still you. And when you give yourself permission to still include and be the old parts of you, then you're bringing yourself back home. You're bringing the parts of you that were necessary and required for you to be the version that you are now. And this version of you would not be here if you weren't the old yous. So I encourage you to just take note, like do some reflections, and notice where you've disregarded parts of yourself. Where have you shamed yourself for any of your past or any of your of the versions that you used to be? And how can you, knowing who you are now, knowing what you are now, knowing that you are evolved and that you can healthily integrate these parts of you and then empower those same parts of you. How can you do that and allow yourself to bear witness to the fact that you might not have to do those same things that you used to do as that old you, but you can bring the energy of who you once were into who you are now. So for me, I'm bringing in the hustler. I'm bringing in like the tenacious one. I'm bringing in the one that my first soccer team that I was on. I was named, I think I put this somewhere because it's reminiscent, but the most tenacious player. And I remember looking at it, and I was like 5 or 6 years old. I remember looking at it and I was like, what the fuck is MTP? I was like, what is this? I was like, isn't it supposed to be a V? like Simone, remember who the fuck you are. Like, never playing soccer before and thinking you should have an MVP. Like, yeah. So that is that. I think that is just something that we all should really look into, as to see what parts of you've disregarded, what parts of you do you think that you're too good for, and inquire and get curious as to why you think so. And then identify the parts of you that you need to bring back and bring back in a healthy way and reintegrate them back into this current version of you. I would love to know your thoughts. I'm going to put this up on my feed so you can catch the replay. And yeah, I'll see you later.